South Korea and Japan, they have so much in common. They are modern democracies. They are well-developed nations with great technological prowess. They both despise China and are threatened by its constant aggression. But sadly, Seoul and Tokyo are no friends. The ties are strained, so damaged that even the best leaders have failed to mend them. And China has taken full advantage of this as it divided and ruled. But now winds of change are blowing in both South Korea and Japan, and it's bad news for Xi Jinping. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Atul Mishra, and in this video I will tell you about South Korea and Japan heading for a rejig in relations. Let's begin. Japan's former foreign minister Fumio Kishida has won the governing party leadership election and is set to become the next prime minister of Japan. As the new leader of the Liberal Democratic Party, Kishida is certain to be elected as the next prime minister on Monday. Almost simultaneously, as Japan's LDP elected its new leader and the country's new prime minister, South Korea made a strategic move. Now it is being anticipated that Japan and South Korea could finally find some closure in their historically rocky relationship and move together into the future with a common objective of securing the Indo Pacific and countering China. Seoul's top trade official said on Wednesday that South Korea will seek to strengthen trade cooperation with Japan amid challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic, and a more friendly business environment will be offered to Japanese firms in the country. Trade Minister Yu Han-koo added, the government will spare no efforts to promote the economic ties between South Korea and Japan. South Korea will offer an open and transparent business environment for all foreign businesses in line with the rules of the World Trade Organization. Interestingly, Fumio Kishida, who is all set to take charge as Japan's prime minister on Monday, is famed to have said that the onus on bettering ties between Tokyo and Seoul rests with South Korea. When asked recently how Tokyo can improve ties with Seoul, Kishida said the ball is in South Korea's court. He called the Japan-South Korea relationship important, but added it is difficult to develop bilateral ties unless South Korea starts playing by the rules. South Korea seems to have received his message, which is why just around the time when Kishida won the prime ministerial race, Seoul extended an olive branch to Tokyo. The ruling Moon Jae-in administration has made quite a name for itself for going soft on China, even as the people of South Korea are among those who hate China from their very guts. Sisane, a current affairs magazine, and pollster Hankook Research revealed survey results in June that show a deterioration in South Korean public attitude towards China, particularly among the youth. Only 26% of respondents felt positive about China, compared to 57% who felt positively about the United States. With 28%, even South Korea's traditional foe, Japan, came out ahead of China. Given the pushback against Chinese influence, a tourist-focused project in South Korea's eastern Gangwon province had earlier been scrapped. The project was being described as a Chinatown project by its opponents. In fact, some 500,000 South Koreans petitioned their government to cancel the tourist attraction, which planned to showcase the Chinese culture. So it is clear that South Koreans hate China. They are also skeptical about Japan. However, the immediate need right now is for the Indo Pacific to rise as one entity to take on China in the region. Now, Japan has been choosing anti-China hawks as its leaders for quite some time. First, it was Shinzo Abe, then came the turn of Yoshihide Suga, and now it is Fumio Kishida, who is among the most pronounced of China hawks in Japan right now. The selection of such leaders as Japan's prime ministers will soon begin to serve as an example for the people of South Korea, who will, rest assured, make a pivot against China, a prerequisite which all Korean prime ministerial hopefuls must fulfill. It has been seen that conservatives are usually more active in taking on China when compared to liberals, so South Korea might just take the right turn very soon. Whether it be Donald Trump in the US or Narendra Modi in India, conservatives deal with China with an iron fist, which leaves the CCP bruised. South Koreans want to bruise China too, so they might as well realize that only conservatives can help them fulfill their dreams. Meanwhile, Japan and South Korea must move past their petty differences if they are to truly become a coalition to reckon with in the Indo-Pacific. Together, Japan and South Korea can pose a severe and formidable challenge to China. And now, given that the change in leadership in Japan has been accompanied by sweet talk from Seoul, the possibility of the two countries finally coming together to take on Beijing cannot be ruled out. 36-year-old Lee Jun-suk is a South Korean conservative who is propelling the rise of his party to a position where it could be able to easily challenge the liberal government of the country in next year's presidential polls. President Moon Jae-in is set to retire next year, and the conservatives are determined to win power in South Korea. Lee aims to revisit South Korea's rather pacifistic and redundant foreign policy and bring it in sync with the generational change that he says is being witnessed in South Korea. Interestingly, the conservatives in South Korea are performing really well when it comes to approval ratings, even as Moon Jae-in's popularity sinks. The Conservative People Power Party, led by Lee Jun-suk, had an approval rating of 37.1% in July. Furthermore, conservatives recently won by-elections in Seoul and Busan in a glowing testimony to the Conservative Party's rising support in South Korea. The rise of China hawks, not just in Japan but across the Indo Pacific, will motivate the South Korean public to vote conservative in the next elections, which would help their country become a part of the global anti-China alliance which is taking shape.